Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about James Wan dumbass because they just released information that James Wan, we're talking about the canceled Trench movie that was canceled by Warner Brothers, was actually a Black Manta movie. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what the hell, bruh? Why would you sit up there and you knew it was secretly going to be a Black Adam movie? Why would you have announced the Trench as a spinoff then? Look, the little scary little fish demon things in the Aquaman lore, that's great and all. But, to say, hey, I'm going to do a solo movie, I'm going to do a spinoff movie in that, using those characters, just didn't make no sense. What did you think the audience was going to do? Did you think the audience was going to be like, yeah, this is amazing, this is great? No, it was weird, it was pointless, and it gave more people a question of why. Yes, we know that you like horror, and that's fine and all, but it's not enough caring of the Trench where people will be like, yeah, this works. All you have to do is just say, I'm going to do a Black Manta movie to explain what he's doing between Aquaman 1 and 2. That could have been cool. Or after Aquaman 2, he goes off on his own journey, and then we kind of see him being his anti. Well, he's not a hero, so I'm not gonna say anti-hero, but his villainous things or whatever, while like showing, hey, I want you got this Black Manta character. You can also have the introduction of his son, Aqualad, Jackson Hyde. You make him straight, please. And that could have been something really cool, personal. You could have it where he's going after some kind of possession that is in the territory of the Trench, and that could, end up having him go there, like maybe his ex-wife with their child, they got captured by some person, a villain, and they used them as bargaining tools for Black Manta to go and get this cool item from the Trench, in the Trench territory. That way you can have Black Manta still being villainous, still not really caring. The only reason why is because right now, hey, his wife and child is in danger, and that could also lead to her breaking point, probably, because we do know that he's upset at Aquaman for killing his dad, technically, but that could also lead to like him getting a better costume, better armor, so he can face off with Aquaman, because he faced off with the Trench, and that would require he kind of went to the territory ill prepared. It tore up his suit, and he had to get a new one, which is the one that we see in Aquaman 2. You get what I'm saying? That way it's more resistance towards, aquatic people with powers or whatever. And towards the end, you can have him face off with whoever kidnapped his family, and that could also be like literally the breaking point for why the wife and her son, left him, which just made him be like, well, I lost them, but at the end of the day, I was able to get this treasure. I was able to figure out more secrets to the Atlanteans. I got to see a little bit more things, and now I'm more prepared to take on these aquatic creatures, while also, stealing and getting money and doing bounty hunting. That could be something as well. It could also be like a bounty hunting kind of thing, but it's just kind of weird. Like, I want to do Black Manta, but I called it the Trench movie. What was you hoping? What was you hoping for that to happen? You should have just said Black Manta movie. If they given The Rock Black Adam, you could have easily done Black Manta as a solo movie. All you had to do was just like, hey, I want to do a Black Manta solo movie, and that was it. That's all you had to do. I don't understand why the deception or the lies, to be honest, about what was going to be planned for the movie, because it shouldn't have been that hard. But you wanted to do the trench, apparently. So you make that make sense, James Wan. I'm just kind of lost at the decision that you thought that was going to work, because I could already tell you it wasn't going to work. If anything, if anybody was going to get like a goddamn spinoff from Aquaman, it was going to be Mira, and this was before everything happened with, the whole AH and JD situation, which I don't know. I'm not getting into that, but I'm just saying, if anything or any character would have made more sense to get like a spinoff, it would have made sense to do her. So that could have also been something where, you could have spent her off into a movie. I mean, well, you could have did Black Manta and still had her as like kind of trying to thwart Black Manta without Aquaman being there. Like, he figured out a way to get to her original home world of Zeppel, that alternate dimension ocean, in the DC universe where Mira is actually from. So that could have possibly worked. I mean, that's what I would have probably tried to do if you really wanted to, and you could have had Mira as the sort of person that's trying to stop, Manta, but she doesn't want to tell Aquaman because, she's the princess of Zeppel. So, you know how that goes. And then you could have also dealt with the trench. So you could have still got part of that horror thing that you wanted to do with the trench, but also brought in Mira to kind of still tie into a lot of things, which could have set up the second Aquaman movie. That's what I was thinking, with the whole thing. That's how you do stuff like that. That's how you do a movie where you still get to do Black Manta and you still got to add the trench into the movie. You just got to make it make sense for the script. But instead of saying, oh, I want to do trench, you mean characters who aren't really all that talkative. There's not really a standout character. There's not much on the characters that requires you to do a scary movie. Like, I feel like the only reason why they were talking about it is because Fox had did that New Mutants and made it like some psychoanalyst horror type movie, instead of just making them the fucking New Mutants and just have them as like the new generation of X-Men characters. I mean, again, priorities, guys. I mean, you want to do something different. But my thing is, there are horror characters in the world of DC that actually have history. You should use them instead of trying to take characters because the trench just doesn't make any logical sense. It just didn't make no kind of sense. Yeah, it was a cool sequence that Aquaman and Mira had to face off against them, but that doesn't mean that it's cool enough to where it needs to be shown in an entire film. You know what I mean? There are definitely some horror themed characters in the DC the horror theme is getting close to, like, you know, it's getting close to like Halloween or something like that. It should, because that way the movie could have been out by Halloween, is what I mean. Is what I meant to say. That's what I mean to say. I'm sorry. Because if you took one of their horror themed characters, or one of their characters that kind of deal with the horror of the DC universe, which again, look in the vertical line as well, you could have easily came up with a horror themed movie that would have worked, instead of talking about the trench, just because you put him in the Aquaman scene, which was a scary scene, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, and it was visually stunning, to be honest. Again, but priorities. Sometimes you gotta think about your priorities. And like I said, if you really want to do a Black Manta movie, you should have just said, "Hey, DC, I want to do a Black Manta movie, but I also want to do a horror themed DC movie, and hopefully DC Warner Brothers will give you the green light for it, but also give you like a list of horror characters that you can definitely use." You know what I'm saying? That would have been fantastic, in my opinion. But I know I'm just kind of rambling about the whole Black Manta thing. I'm just kind of disappointed that now we're not going to get a Black Manta solo movie, because James Wan decided to promote it as fucking The Trench, and DC was like, "Nah, shelf that, man." But maybe after hearing that it was supposed to be a Black Manta, maybe after Aquaman 2, if Aquaman 2 does successfully well, maybe we could get a Black Manta. But god dang it, that whole stuff with AH and JD is involved, and I heard a lot of people were planning on boycotting Aquaman 2. So I don't know what to tell y'all, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.